where does this team as a whole, okay, right, now compete in the East? Right? We won't go just from that duo, even though that's the new duo of the New York Knicks.
Oh, so you're saying what does this do for them as a team?
I think where I want to go with this is where, like, does this significantly make their team better? A, and B, where do you rank them now in the Eastern Conference?
Well, let's think about this, right? You talk about the Knicks, and they were 1, 2, 3, 4. They were the first team out, technically, right? If you're thinking of, they were the 11th team, so they were one out, one seed away from making the play-in tournament, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Also, you might think, oh, that's not that bad. They were 6 games out of being a 10 seed in the East, right? With the Hornets, the Cavs, the Hawks, and the Nets being the bottom 4 teams that made it into the playoffs.
Let me ask you this, all right? Let's go down this avenue, all right? And I'm going to ask you some questions here. So the Knicks last year were the 11th seed. They were 37-45. I'm going to give you, you know what's happened so far this offseason. Let's go through we'll just run through the East and say, are the Knicks better than this team now? All right, current roster, current state. And we'll see if Jalen Brunson really made a difference, based on our opinions, okay? The Miami Heat.
No.
Not even close.
Nowhere near.
The Boston Celtics.
Nowhere near.
The Milwaukee Bucks.
Nowhere near.
The Philadelphia 76ers.
Still nowhere near.
The Toronto Raptors.
No.
There's not even a lick of thought in your head.
There's been too much disrespect on Siakam and Van Vliet's name. I still think they're a top 6. I'd say a top 6 duo in the NBA, and I still think that they're a top 5 team in the East.
The Chicago Bulls.
Re-signing Levine, keeping DeRozan now.
The Brooklyn Nets.
Yet to be seen. I still
based on the current makeup of the roster right now,
but actually, that gives you Kyrie and KD.
Let's go based on what we think is going to happen with that.
So
team.
we think that the Sun, right? KD goes to the Suns, so that means they get Ayton, Cam Johnson,
Mikal Bridges, and a couple firsts,
and then you give Kyrie to
the Lakers.
For
Russell Westbrook.
So you're talking, nowhere near. The Knicks don't have any depth right now. They said their other signing has been Mitchell Robinson, who's a good player.
Who's already been there, yeah.
He's established himself, and we know the stat of he's the first Knick to get a second contract after his rookie contract or something along those lines is what you said.
That's right. Yeah.
Which is absolutely ridiculous, but he's definitely deserved it.
The Atlanta Hawks.
I think you can make an argument.
DeJounte Murray and Trae Young.
But I still think the Hawks are better.
I think the Hawks are better. Yes, I do. The Cleveland Cavaliers.
No.
Evan Mobley, Darius Garland, Colin Sexton coming back.
No.
The Charlotte Hornets.
No. I think that's a debatable one.
No Miles Bridges, though, presumably.
Presumably in free agency, I still think LaMelo has... I don't know. They did it last year with just LaMelo, and I think that they'll try and do something now. They got Big Mark from Duke, and I still think that they're a solid team all around. And I think LaMelo is going to be fine there. I truly think that this was one of the least effective moves for over $100 million we may ever see.
Oh wait!
In NBA history.
I'm still going.
I know you are. And where are we right now? We're at 10, right?
10. So the Knicks came in 11th. We're gonna stoop down so low to say we're gonna go to teams that are below them. Did the Knicks get worse by this move? Okay. Are you ready? The Washington Wizards.
It's debatable. It's genuinely debatable. You re-signed Bradley Beal, and we were having this conversation. Or no, it wasn't about them. It was about what the Nets did. Me and Kobe would both take Bradley Beal and Porzingis over Jalen Brunson and RJ Barrett.
Healthy Porzingis, right? Presumably.
Yeah. A full season out of Bradley Beal. Look at this. Think of it this way, right? Bradley Beal is clearly happy with where he is, or at least just settled with the fact that he's never going to win a chip, at least in the next 5 to 6 years.
They added Johnny Davis, number 10 overall pick in the draft.
Mm-hmm. They lost KCP.
Yes, but they are still, Bradley Beal is still going to get his this year. And I feel like he's settled into his role and accepted who he is.
So tell me.
I think the Wizards are a better team. I'd have more trust in the Wizards.
The Detroit Pistons.
And that one I think is even more of a debate than the Wizards.
I think the Pistons are a better team.
With the amount, I mean, this year, I don't know.
I don't know.
Next year,
Cade
though,
Cunningham at the second half of this past season was good. Was very good.
I believe in this young core, but to say that it's going to work right away, they're going to flourish right away. We don't see it happen crazy amount of times that all these young guys are going to flourish at once. You know what I mean? So I think we have that conversation in a few years. But I think right now,
the Orlando Magic.
No. The Knicks aren't the worst team in the East by making this move.
Paolo.
I understand that, and I'm high on him.
The Indiana Pacers.
No. I'd take the Knicks.
We take it. We get healthy Miles Turner back.
Benedict
Mathurin. You have Tyrese Halliburton.
You guys are talking about trading Turner.
Yeah, but we're going to get a good... Presumably, actually, I mean, if you want to go into it, DeAndre Ayton's supposed to go to the Pacers. So Halliburton, Mathurin, Ayton... That's a better team.
If they get Ayton, yes. If they don't get Ayton, then no.
So you heard it here first, all right? We just went through it.
The only team they're better than is the Magic.
The New York Knicks signed a player for $100 million and got worse. There you go.
Look, Jalen, I fucking love you, and I appreciate everything you did for the Dallas Mavericks in this past playoffs. But to sit there and say that you can go out and be $100 million man, like, not him, obviously, but for the Knicks to move mountains. Literally, push everything away, open up the gates, and try and be Zeus to go get a guy who was second fiddle to Luka. It's just like I don't see why or what this really does, and I feel like at this point they're just desperate because, like we've talked about, when is the last time the New York Knicks have gotten a free agent, a top tier free agent?